Just arrived in from Brisbane, and I figured while we're in Sydney, we might go and do something different. We'll go and have a bit of a look around. I'm on a 24-hour break, so let's go and have a look.
Yeah, we bout to have a good day. All my people down the ride, turning up into the sky, that's fast. Yeah, I'm about to break it down, babe. I get everything you want, really, just to get a smile, real talk. Boy, I get it for my people. Oh, 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 I know we don't get a sequel. No, no, no. Saying always come and ride with me. There's no time, it's like the present, go and fly with me. You and me, there ain't no limit past the sky with me. Saying rise with me, fly with me, vibe with me. Oh, yeah. Put my people in the high life limelight. They gon' always be the highlight of my life. Everything I do is all for them. Ay. Anything I want, I cop for them. I want the best life, but ain't nothing gon' be right if you just left mine. You be playing for your life, you go and test mine. You don't have to understand me, no, but you will reprimand it though. I got a big vibe, really, but it's fitting for two. No, I mean well, I don't really mean it for you. Unless you my guy, my fan, my sis, my fan, my friend, goddamn. Yeah, we bout to have a good day. All my people down the ride, turning up into the sky, that's fast. Yeah, I'm about to break it down, babe. I get everything you want, really, just to get a smile, real talk. Boy, I get it for my people. Oh, 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 I know we don't get a sequel. No, no, no. Saying always come and ride with me. There's no time, it's like the present, go and fly with me. You and me, there ain't no limit past the sky with me. Saying rise with me, fly with me, vibe with me. Oh, oh, yeah. And when tomorrow comes around too, ain't no limit with what I would do. Everything and anything for you. Oh, oh. And if you out the circle, you should go. But if you in the circle, keep it cool. Peace in the middle.
It was a morning in June when I heard that tune falling up to the beat of your heart. Like a white crane sails from a startled trail, our eyes met and then landed so well.
On it, Sunday, and I got a 24-hour off, so instead of just sitting out the yard doing nothing, I thought I'd come out, catch a train, come into the city, have a look around. So yeah, right now I'm at Circular Quay. So I'm I think I might catch a ferry across to Milson's Point or somewhere, have a bit of a look around, and then we'll head home. Alright, well, welcome to Sydney.
Before you could speak, before you could weep, I held your hand in mine. Like a shell on a beach, waiting for your reach, falling up to the mountain to climb. You came reassuring, Mother Nature's procuring. There's no need for doubt in this mind. You came reassuring, Mother Nature's procuring. There's no need for doubt in this mind. And our eyes align like the sun through the pines, in a silent space, in a cup full of time. In these orderly ways, in this disorderly life, I let go of my hand in the jar. For the great moon in the middle of June, falling up to the pole of the tide. though I've seen it before. Nothing I've ever been told can touch this feeling inside. You came reassuring, Mother Nature's procuring. There's no need for doubt in his mind.
Righto, I didn't go to Milson's Point, like I said. I was going there, I was on the dock, ready to go, and then this big flash, fast ferry turned up, all windows closed in. You couldn't get out anywhere, so this older one on the other side of the dock turned up. You can stand out on the deck and over the rails and have a good look. So I thought, I'll just get on that. So I just have no idea where I was going, so I jumped on it, and anyway, ended up out here at Taronga. So I didn't want to really go and have a look at the animals. It's a big park, and I'd be here all day, you know, and it's hot, I've got to walk around. So I thought I'll just take this little bushwalk that was close by in the national park. So I've done that, had a look around, and now I'm probably gonna go back down to the ferry, catch it back to Circular Quay, and you know, I'll have a bit more of a look around, and I might start heading home. That's a long way. Lucky it's downhill. I caught the bus up here from the ferry, and I thought I'd walk back. You know, you make some wrong decisions in your life, and I think this is one of them. See that boat there? I wonder if it's mine. I wonder if I've just missed it. Righto, I'm back in Circular Quay. I wasn't there long. I think I had to wait for the ferry about 10 minutes or something like that, so it wasn't a great big deal. I'm standing in front of Customs House at the moment. The station's just behind me. So yeah, we'll get back on the train, head back into Central, change another train, head back out to the west to St Mary's, and then just Uber it home. Alright, well, let's go home. It's too hot. And I've come down from Brisbane, so I've been up all night driving, and I've been up half the day doing this, so yeah, time to go home. Alright, let's go. Going on? Why won't these brakes release? Come on. What's going on with the brakes? Yeah, hello. Could you please put me through the workshop? Thanks. Yeah, how you going? I'm having problems with my trailer brakes. They're not releasing. I think they're a bit faulty. The air pressure, let me see, doesn't say anything about air pressure, it just says temperature, and it's sitting about 31 degrees outside at the moment. Hello? Hello? You still there? Hello? Alright, I just thought we'd take this opportunity to have a quick look at the air system of the truck. And so we'll find out where the air comes from, where it goes, and what it does when it gets there. So it all starts here, and that there is your compressor, and that makes the air. It draws air from the engine, and it's got a piston. So it just works like any other air compressor in your workshop and that. So when the piston comes down, the piston goes up and down off the crankshaft like any other combustion engine. When the piston comes down, it sucks air, like a valve opens, sucks air into the chamber. The valve closes, the piston comes back up again, compresses the air, and then the compressed air shoots down that pipe there and then down under the truck to the air dryer. So that there, that cylinder there, that's the air dryer, so that the compressed air gets pushed through that air dryer, which basically does what it says it does. It'll go in there and it'll dry the air, because the compressor, when it pushes it out, it superheats the air, and then it goes down that pipe and starts to cool, and you're going to get a bit of moisture and condensation. So that air dryer will dry the air and take all the moisture out, and then it'll continue on to the air tanks. So the air tanks are situated under the truck, of course, and you've got your air release there. If any moisture gets through, you can drain your air tanks through that. I normally do it, there's a wire up there, pull on that wire and it'll drain the air tank if there's any sort of moisture sitting on the bottom, because you know water's heavier than air, so it'll sit down there so you can drain your air tanks. I normally do that probably once a week or so, just in case there's something in there, and clean the tank out for any dirt and air or water that's in there. So there are your two air gauges, KPA air gauges. So the first thing you do when you get in the truck, they might have air, they might not have air. So you just start your truck up and build up some air in that tank. So the compressor will start pushing air through the air dryer and into the tanks. Righto, so you can see that I've got no air. It's down to 400. The compressor will build it up to about between 8 and 900 kPa. So we're just going to sit here and we just have to wait till it gets up to 8 or 900. Right, I hear that push sound. Well, that's the governor, and we're going to have a look at that. Right, so that there is your governor valve, and it basically does what it says also. It just governs the air pressure. So it comes from your tank underneath that tank there. It'll fill up the tank and it'll get pressurised and pressurised and pressurised, and then it'll come back, pressurised air, hit the governor valve here, and then the governor valve will measure the pressure of the tank and then shut it off around like 8 or 900 kPa. Alright, you've got two brakes. You've got this one here, the yellow one for the truck, and that's for parking, and you've got the red one here for the trailers. So if you had the yellow one in and the red one out, the truck brakes will be off, the trailer brakes will be on, so, and vice versa. And this one puts everything on. So when we push these in, it should release all the air from the front tank of the truck and send it back to the tanks at the trailers. And you can see here the air starting to drop a touch, because the air from the front tanks of the truck is getting released to the back and dropping in pressure. So now, like just say the trailers could have been sitting for a week or a few days or even 12 hours, and they might not have any air in them like these trailers don't. We're down to like 600 PCI or KPI. It's irrelevant if you're not a mechanic. We're just worried about how much air we got. So now we can't move because there's not enough air pressure in the tanks of the trailers to release the brakes. The brakes are held off by air. So there's no air, or there's not enough air in the brakes are going to stay on. So, and as you can see, we don't have enough air in the system now at the moment. So again, we just have to wait until we get enough air in the system to release the trailer brakes. And there goes the governor valve. So the governor's just gone off, indicating that all the air tanks are full now and fully pressurised. We've got these both pushed in, so everything's on at the moment. So all the trailer brakes are off, the truck brakes are off, and if we kept this, we could just move off. So what happens when you release those maxi brakes, the yellow and the red button, air is then forced down this red line, this is the supply line, air line, and it'll shoot air or compressed air down through the trailers. So it'll shoot down to this first air tank and then continue on down to this next air tank, and then it'll start filling up these airbags. There's one for every wheel, so there's 6 in total. One up there, one down the bottom there. So the air's got to fill these tanks up and then start filling these airbags up and then start filling those brake boosters up. So there's enough air to pull the brakes off. And the same thing, if you're driving a B-double, it just extends further. So the same thing goes through the supply line and keeps going into the back trailer. And this back trailer just has the same setup as the front trailer. It'll just continue on through the air lines, fill up that air tank to pressure. Same as before, start filling up all these airbags all the way down to the back. So this is your brake booster, and that's where the valve is that releases the brake. So air has got to come down these hoses, pull the spring back, and it'll just release the brakes, and the brakes will come open, and then you can go. But you've got to have enough air in these air tanks to be able to do that, because if you don't have enough pressurized air in these tanks, it's not going to have enough air to push that spring back, and the brakes aren't going to come open. So you just got to sit there and build your brakes up, build your air up, or you're not going to go anywhere. Alright, so you've got your supply line, which supplies all your airbags, your air tanks, your brake boosters, a whole lot. This one is a signal line. It works independently of the braking system. And we're going to have a look what it does. So back to the brake booster. This side of the brake booster is for your supply, and it releases your parking brakes. This other side is for the signal line, and it will work independently, and it just works your brakes as you're rolling along the highway. So you're going down a hill, you're going a bit too quick, you've got to put on the brakes a little bit to slow down. So this will release air to the brakes and put them on, and then it'll release them when you release your foot off the brake. It just works like in reverse of the parking brake, and it just works independently of its own. Alright, so from front to back, like each of these trailers have got 2 airbags each, 2 air tanks each, got 6 airbags each. So, and all those has to be filled to capacity to be strong and have a strong enough air pressure to pull the brakes off. So you just have to go back to your gauges and just wait until everything's built up. So you build the truck up first, and then you pull in your maxis, or push in your 2 maxis. The air will come down because all the air's been pushed back to the trailers from the air tank at the front, emptying it. So, and the compressor's now got to fill up that air tank that's just been, all the air's been pushed down to the trailers. So just have to wait. Just sit there and wait until you build up enough pressure. So it'll be 800 to 900 PCI or KPI. So, and that's all you're waiting for. So instead of being impatient, that's what I put it down to, because I see a lot of blokes, they drive out and one of their wheels are locked on and they're dragging it behind them, and you can hear the brakes squealing because there's not enough air yet, and the brakes are still on. There's not enough air to hold them out or off, so they just drag them across the yard, so just wait. Just be a bit more patient, wait, look at your air gauges, and don't move until at least 800. Once it gets to there, you should be right. Yeah, so don't just drag them across the yard. And so that's what happens. That's what's going on behind you when you push the maxis in. You know, you've got to wait for all this stuff to happen. The airbags to fill up, the air tanks to fill up, the brake boosters to fill, you know, all this kind of stuff. And you need all that pressure to release the brakes in the first place, or you're just not going to go anywhere.
You want me to wake up, but I'm strangled in my sleep. You want me to shape up, but in my dreams I found relief. You want me to wake up, but I've been out for so long. Got plugs in my ears, got plugs in my soul.
I want you to wake up.
Alright, it's Tuesday the 28th. I'm on my second leg for the week, or the second job for the week. Yesterday I left Sydney, come down to Melbourne, and they've turned me around, and now I'm going back up to Sydney. But the only problem is with this trip, I've got to have a night break tonight. I've got to pull up somewhere between 10 p.m. and 8 a.m. tomorrow morning, and I've got to have 7 hours in that break. So I'll just touch back on the book again. You normally run your book on a fortnightly time basis, so you've got to have 4 night breaks a fortnight, and 2 of those nights have to be consecutive. So you've got to have a 24-hour once a week, and you've got to have a 48-hour every fortnight. So I'll go 24 one week, 48 the next week, 24, 48. And in between those, you've got to have 4 night breaks between 10 p.m. and 8 a.m. You've got to fit 7 hours in. So it's Tuesday night, and I'm due for my first night break, or whatever it is. So, but what the problem is I got out about 4 o'clock, and it's now nearly 6:30. I'm still in Victoria, and I've got to fit this night break in, so I've got to pull up for 7 hours. But I'm already thinking about the next job. So, you know, I want to try and get into Sydney as early as I can, so I don't miss out. Because, you know, you're chasing our 5,000 Ks for the week. And by the time I get back up to Sydney, I would have only done about 1,700 kilometres or something. So a little bit short of about 5,000. So I just got to, so if I get in too late, I'm going to miss out. I'll be too late, and they won't be able to send me out again. So I would have had the night break tonight, and then I'll have to sit around again Wednesday night because I've got in too late, so I can't really muck around too much. I think I'm hoping to get into Sydney about 10 or 11 o'clock, and that they'll have something late for me. Like they might have something at 6 o'clock or 7 o'clock or something, hopefully, and they can send me somewhere else. So that's the thing. Alright, well, let's get into it. 10 at night. I'm at the Dog of the Tugger Box, or Gunner Guy at the moment. Alright, finally found somewhere to park. A place called Mundanoon. I've never been here before, haven't parked here before, so it was about half an hour or so up the road. There wasn't a spot anywhere at Yass. Yeah, it's just everybody's there. And yeah, and I had to squeeze past that toll bloke when I got here. So yeah, it's about midnight or something like that. So I'll camp here tonight, get going about 7 o'clock in the morning. So yeah, alright. Also, a couple of people have been asking me where I sleep overnight time. Tonight I'm here in the bunk of the truck. So yeah, it's just a single size bed. Yeah, it's fairly comfortable. It's not too bad. It's warm. I got some controls here. That's where my ice pack is. I'll turn that on later. I don't really need it right now. So yeah, it's not too bad. I also put this voice command module in the truck, so I can just play the radio from here. So I can just say, truck, play this or play that, and it'll just play it automatically, which is pretty cool. So truck, play something smooth. Alright, I'll see you in the morning. Turn it off. Smooth. Play something smooth. Thank you. I just woke up. Well, I've been up for about an hour. It's nearly 7:30. I've been here like my 7 hours, so I'm just about to take off, head back to Sydney. I'm still at Mundanoon, so it's all right. It's been all right here. It's been quiet enough, but the ground's at a bit of an awkward level, so I was kept sliding out of my bed. Anyway, all right, well, we better get into it. Alright, I'm back in Sydney. It's about 10:30. I got in about 10:15. I'm not sure what I'm doing from here, even if I'll get a job. I probably should do this afternoon, I reckon. So, alright, well I'll wind this video up here. We've been from Sydney down to Melbourne. We've come back again. So that's it for a little bit. Alright, I'll see you on the next video.